Yeah.
My favorite.
It's Judd's Hockey Show.
I'm in Judd's Hockey Show. Hopefully things are technically sound here. It's Judd. It's AJ. Last couple of days in StreamYard. It's been a little bit dicey at times, but we're going to push through. I'm going to assume it's fine. We have a Wild Oilers game to talk about. We have a primary topic to talk about. But before we do that, I want to tell you about the primary burger in town to talk about. And that is, of course, the Parlor Burger, which is outstanding. If you've heard me talking about it, then you know that I have raved about Parlor. The burger is top notch. I mean, if the burger is the first star, the chicken sandwich might be the second star, and the menu is just awesome. Craft cocktails, great beer, great experience. And here's the best part. If you're going to a game, guess what? Right down West 7th Street from the arena is Parlor. That's their St. Paul location. Also, there's one in the North Loop, which is the OG location, and one in Excelsior out west on Water Street as well. So check it out, and check out that QR code if you're watching this too. You scan that QR code. Guess what, folks? It's as easy as this. You have reservations that you can make just by scanning that code. So check that out. And then before we do get to what I want to open the show with, AJ, tell the people about the exciting news and how they can help us here at Judd's Hockey Show continue to grow our YouTube channel.
Yeah, so for everybody who's been watching us the past, half a month, 3 weeks now, we've been on a brand new YouTube channel. If you're watching the video version of the show, we are on a brand new YouTube channel. So one, thank you so much for taking the effort to find this new channel. And if you subscribed, thank you very much. Well, the thing is, we need a little bit more because we are coming up on that 2,000 marker for subscribers. We're 18 shy at the moment. So thank you to everybody that has already subscribed. But I get the stats, I get the analytics via YouTube. And I know that a lot of the people that watch still have not yet subscribed. Make sure you just click that little button if you like the content. Even if you don't, maybe if you want to just come and say that you don't like what we say. You see it first, and you can leave that comment a lot quicker on a day-to-day basis. Either way, thank you. And if you haven't already, click that subscribe button right under the video.
All right, before we get to the Wild, I want to go back in time, and I want to talk about the date, March 15th, 2023, which probably does not ring a bell. But it will in a second. Okay. The names that I want to bring up are David Brisebois and Ryan Galloway.
Okay.
The game I want to bring up was, on the date I gave you, was Wild against St. Louis, an 8-5 win. Why do I bring up the linesmen? Because those are the two linesmen that stepped in and stopped Jordan Binnington from fighting Marc-Andre Fleury, which was, by the way, along with scoring a goal, one of Fleury's great hopes before he retired, which obviously he did after last season, was to be involved in a goalie fight. Well, he was not allowed to. And Binnington would have been the perfect guy to go against because he's off his rocker. Yeah. Now, I bring this full circle because last night we saw, in what was one of the most entertaining outdoor games of all time, it was incredible, Tampa Bay going against the Bruins, we saw a goalie fight. Jeremy Swayman, Andrei Vasilevsky of the Lightning in the second period. That was the second goalie fight in 13 days. So 13 days ago, Bobrovsky of the Florida Panthers and Nedeljkovic of the San Jose Sharks got into a fight. These were the first goalie fights, 13 days apart, since 2020, February 1st, when Mike Smith, then of Edmonton, and Cam Talbot, then of Calgary, before he came to the Wild, got into the last goalie fight. And I ask you a very simple question, because it's one of the most entertaining things in life. Like, skater fights now, I don't know. They're often like you're punching a guy's shield. Yeah. I don't know. They don't do a lot for me. But goalie fights like last night, where Vasi and Swayman shed their masks and fight at center ice, and we find out that Vasilevsky is a southpaw and he drops Swayman. Great entertainment. Always great fun to see how goaltenders are going to actually navigate trying to punch each other.
Right.
And I go back to that date in March 15th, 2023. Why couldn't they just let those two goaltenders, because there was a scrum, so it's not like they were the only two scrumming. Why couldn't they just let them fight?
It's still a travesty. I can't believe that those officials stepped in and stopped that when it happened. Like that was the most organic, I guess kind of storybook moment for a guy that is a Hall of Famer and will go in on the first ballot. If he says I'm going to come all the way down the ice and want to try to pick a fight, you just say, yeah, I'll turn a blind eye. I'll maybe attend to this, and then 5 seconds later, oh, okay, now you've engaged already. I got to let you go. What we saw last night, first off, that game was for a game that I going into, but when I sat down to watch was this is super dumb. I don't like that we're having another outdoor game. All this stuff that like the yellow on, like I was looking for stuff that probably is not worth pointing out, but like it's too yellow on the Bruins jersey and stuff like that, which frankly it still is. That game was fantastic, and having the goalie fight be a part of it just adds to the entertainment value. And plus, national audience. Conspiracy theorist in me says that maybe the league was like, "Hey, if you want to get something going, one of you guys feel free." It's still just a robbing like of entertainment value for hockey fans and Marc-Andre Fleury and all these things that they stepped in 2 years ago to break that up, because Jordan Binnington, he's already as psycho as they come. And if Marc-Andre Fleury wants to shed the pedigree of everything that is the Flower and get dirty and drop the mitts with Binnington, you have to let him go. I do understand the rationale that maybe the refs are like, hey, this is a Hall of Famer. We have to protect him. We have to do whatever. He's a veteran. He knows this is not
he skated the length of the ice though. He wanted it. They weren't protecting him. They were interfering with what would have been the great moments of the Flowers' career.
If they flop it and Binnington skates the end of the ice and like tries to engage, I think I hear more of the argument there. But the fact that Marc-Andre Fleury left his own crease, took his helmet off, and was, "Come on, give me some. Let's go." Because really, too, are the goalie fights that there's a lot going on, but are they really that? I guess like impactful or what? Not that's not the word I'm looking for.
Dangerous?
But they're not throwing haymakers. These guys are in monkey suits and they're restricted as they come.
That's what makes them fun.
If you connect on the button, it's really still not like throwing a Mike Tyson right hook.
No.
So
no.
I'm not saying I want to see a goalie fight every game, but when they do pop up, if it's organic, like we've seen the past 13 days now, or in the case of Flower and Binnington, that seemed very organic too. Let them go. Obviously, get some attention for safety, but at the same time, you gotta grow the game.
Well,
that's how you're gonna do it.
I just wanted Flower to get the opportunity because he wanted it, and it would have been outstanding. And like if it's because of all of the pads and how difficult it is to actually like get to the guy. Although Swayman didn't realize this. This was one of my favorite parts about the old school fights. You don't see it as much now because the fights aren't that great. But the old school fights where sometimes guys didn't know a guy with a southpaw was a southpaw, and they would just get. I think the two North Stars that come to mind, Brad Maxwell was a southpaw, and he could fight. And then probably the greatest fighter I saw, because he was absolutely psychotic, was Dave Richter, a big defenseman who wore glasses. He looked sort of like Clark Kent off the ice, like he wore glasses off the ice like Faber does. He wore them all the time. But then that dude, he destroyed people. You did not want to fight him. But the worst part for people was he was a lefty, I think. And so guys would. So this was that was great fun. The game was actually nuts, partially because it was so cold there, which was great. So let's get to what occurred on Saturday, 7-3. The Wild wins again. The standings as of this morning, and the Wild will play Montreal tonight at home. Second to last game before the Olympic break. Colorado on top of the Central, 81 points. The Wild, 74 points. Knocking at the door. There's 7 points. Dallas, 73 points. The Wild's now won 3 consecutive. The Stars have won 4 consecutive. It's absolutely crazy. But the thing that stood out to me about that game, Age, was the fact that once again, Quinn Hughes. What more can you say? Like I don't want to belabor the point, but every game there's something new, and that goal that he scored, where he basically ended up passing the puck off the boards to himself, it's nuts. Like he just makes such difficult things look so routine.
I'll belabor the point because I'm not sure we're going to
Go right ahead.
like we don't know that we're going to have this here in the state for I mean, we know the rest of the season and then more than likely, at least more than half of next season, depends on if they potentially feel like, okay, we can't extend him, we got to move him at the deadline or what. We don't know if he's going to be extended here. So for the time being, I'm going to belabor the point. And if that's a problem for the people that listen and watch this show, then I don't know. What's the Sacramento Kings guy? If you don't like that, you don't like NHL hockey.
Just don't unsubscribe though. That's
Yeah,
the only thing. In fact,
just tell me in the comments while subscribed.
Hit that like and subscribe button.
What a fantastic player. For the analytics side of things, he had one of the most impactful performance scores I have ever seen. A lot of the analytics side of things people have ever seen. He just was all over the ice offensively, defensively. He shut things down. And this goes back to your point. I think it was on Thursday, on Friday morning show, but talking about Thursday's game, the way he positions and how good he is with his stick, how he's able to create space offensively with the puck, but also that skating ability gets him into positions to be better defensively. It was one of the best, if not the best games that I've seen from him since being acquired by the Wild. He just continues to be a super impactful player every single time he steps on the ice. Obviously, we've seen where there's games where maybe not the enthusiasticness, but the just overall impact mismatches for how he goes up against teams. It kind of stifles. But against the Oilers, this is a team that's been to the Stanley Cup final now 2 years in a row. They've been runner-ups both years. They're a good team, despite maybe some questions in net, and just that's going to be an issue for them here. But they're second in the Pacific right now, even after that loss. They're a good hockey team, and the fact that he can go out there and just look so dominant and so game-changing, and it's such a benefit for the Wild. This is where in past years we've said, okay, you lose a Kirill Kaprizov for some time due to injury, even if he's out a couple games. We didn't know if Matt Boldy was there at the time. We've seen now a completely different Matt Boldy. He's raised to a level where we haven't really seen this before. But now having a Quinn Hughes, this is your superstar on the blue line. Brock Faber, I think, has had his game elevated by playing with Quinn Hughes, but I would also think that having a guy like Brock Faber next to Quinn Hughes has also maybe allowed Quinn Hughes to even take a little bit more of a step because Brock is able to keep up with him. I don't think skill-wise he's the same player, but mobility and just amount of ice time he can eat up, Brock Faber kind of hangs with him right there playing, 25, 28, almost 30 minutes a lot of the time. Having that sort of partner on the defensive side of things has to do wonders for his game. He's just so good. This is... I don't want to keep acting like I'm starstruck every time I see a good performance, but I find myself acting starstruck because we just have not seen this on this team before, in the state before. I saw people comment in a little bit of a discussion, but would you agree that as of right now, he is the best player skill-wise that's ever played for the team? Or do you feel like it's still Kaprizov? Because we had dubbed Kaprizov had overtaken the Gabrick before.
Oh, easily. Yeah. Boy, because it's a different skill set between defensemen and forwards, I guess I would hesitate to make that declaration. It feels like it, and Kaprizov, I mean he's going well again now. So
yeah,
I think I need a little bit more time if I'm going to make that statement and be certain. Now, I would say yes, but I think it's also the fact that Quinn Hughes is the shiny new toy. I would say what I'm very curious about, he seems to like it here. Obviously, there's things to see, i.e., what's the playoff run like, or is there a playoff run? There better be a playoff run. Right. But the question that's coming to my mind now is, because I think Jack Hughes is signed for 3 more years after this in Jersey, and so you could sync up their contracts to be with different teams, but then be free agents at the same time in 3 years. And my question now is, what's the price point on Quinn? Because you established the price point on Kaprizov, and to be honest with you, I think that should hurt you. Like if I'm Quinn, I'm not gonna. It's hockey. Who knows? But if I'm Quinn's people, I don't know that I'm going to go in and say, you know what, we'll take $5 million less than Kirill, which would be 12, which should still be really good. Now, God bless you if you do, but if they can get this done, and perhaps a short-term contract, if that is to sync up with Jack's contract, would work out where he does take less. But July 1st he can be signed to an extension, and I'm really curious to see what that extension might look like partially because you established a market that not many other teams have gone to with Kirill, but you did. And if I'm your player, I'm going to say, oh, hold on a second here.
Right.
I would like something very similar. Maybe 3 years though changes that, because I would be walking myself, potentially into a free agent position where Kirill did sign for the long term. So that might change the math a bit.
Yeah, and the other thing to think about too is him and Quinn Hughes, who I'm referencing, and then Cale Makar, they expire their contracts in the same year. So they have this season, and then next season after that, they're both unrestricted free agents. You would have to assume that Colorado is not going to let a guy like that walk, and they're going to want to extend him as soon as possible. That's a team that already, though, the past couple of years, one contender. They're looking for that cup, but also with just Quinn Hughes and then Nathan McKinnon and all these other guys. They want to make sure that they hold them for a while. That being said, they have the benefit of having Nathan McKinnon on the books at $12.5 million, I think, until like 2032, something like that. So like just a ridiculous. And granted, he's now 30 years old. So, but the way he's playing, whatever. Cale Makar will get extended, but I think that will also be very relative to what the Wild want to do. Because if you look at that, it's this race again. It's a Kaprizov McDavid where Quinn Hughes, as of right now, is the Cale Makar for the Minnesota Wild. You have to value him as such, but also you've just shown that you're willing to pay your Connor McDavid $17 million a year. It's a part and parcel. You're kind of comparing to a similar player with Cale Makar, but at the same time, the Wild, the 17, I still don't think it's the wrong decision. It's obvious we haven't.
It just changed, but everyone else signed for less. So
that's the thing.
You didn't know that at the time, and everybody else took less. Which in the hockey world, we could actually talk about Kaprizov's ask, and then the rest of the guys with him sort of fell in line a lot more. But I do think if Quinn Hughes says I only want to do 3 years, you probably have a little bit more of negotiating power not to go as high. Because the one thing that Kirill did was he committed to you for essentially what will be the rest of his prime, and pretty close to his career as well. One more topic to get to, but before we do that, I want to talk to you about Victory Tire and Auto, because at Victory Tire and Auto, they believe in relationships, and their goal is to serve customers for the long term. Why? Because what they want to do is have personalized, trustworthy, and consistent service. That's how they're going to do it. Family-owned business established right here in Minnesota in 1997. Victory has an industry-leading 5-year, 50,000-mile warranty on all new parts and labor. Schedule an appointment at any of their 20-plus Twin Cities area locations at victorytireandauto.com. Tell them that the Sports Dad, that's right, the Sports Dad sent you for $25 off any oil change service. You also will get complimentary multi-point safety inspection with every service appointment. 22 locations in town here, or in the state, I should say, as well as Eau Claire, Wisconsin, and St. Petersburg, Florida, where it was very frigid on Sunday, as we know. Quality work, genuine care for all of life's miles at Victory Tire and Auto. Last thing I want to talk about, the special teams, the power play. So the two things that have just statistically really, I think, one statistically, one is an observation. The Wild was among the worst teams, or among the bottom of the league in points from defensemen before Quinn Hughes. Now they're near the top. We're at the top. The power play, which actually got off to a good start, so you can't say it didn't. But the power play, which we watched sort of struggle, zone entries at times, they scored some goals, but it didn't necessarily look good.
Yeah.
Well, with Quinn Hughes, they have now, in their last 8 games, 11 goals on 27 chances. That's 41%. That's ridiculous. Overall, they're 6th in the league in power play, so this is for the whole season, at 25%. They have scored 2 goals in those 8 games. They have 2 power play goals in a game 3 different times, and they have been held without a power play goal in only 1, and that was the Blackhawks game where they had 1 power play. The difference on the power play, now that Quinn Hughes is there, which improves everybody, it raises everyone on that power play, to me, has been to the point of, I was trying to think, when's the last time that we complained? Because we used to continually complain, especially you.
Right.
And you weren't wrong. Zone entries, right? Like, get the puck in and keep it. Like, get the puck in and set up. Get the puck in and do something. And they could. And there were games where it felt like they couldn't get. They could barely get over the blue line. So the power play, 41% last 8 games. That is off the charts.
Yeah, the first off, the zone entry woes have been completely dissolved. 43 and 97. It's crazy to think how just having those two guys on the ice, you're able to just hand it off and say, you know what? Take it. Do your thing. Because they're able to skate in. They're both either agile enough or strong on the puck or both to just kind of weave through or body a guy in and ride it low into the corner. Then, I mean, it's a playmaking ability. And this is where when Hughes was first acquired, he kind of talked about, I think he said like 5, 6, 7, whatever. And then he made it, it's going to be like 15, 20, 25 games. Well, we're there. We've seen him acclimated now. He's comfortable. He's got a chemistry. He knows how people play. People know how he play. They're able to read off each other. And that's where, going back to last Thursday, the Matt Boldy goal. It's tic-tac-toe. They find a guy in front, tip in, and they score. You're seeing this efficiency and this what I've wanted for this power play for a long time is like purposeful passing, meaningful passes, not just moving around the perimeter for the sake of moving around the perimeter. It's with the end goal of getting to a certain area, not hoping the defense just takes themselves out of position. The Wild have now shifted and molded to being the team that makes the team get out of position, not them doing it themselves. So it's effective. It's dangerous. It's something where if you take a penalty, you're going to immediately regret it if you're the opposition, because right now the Wild, that top unit is so good. And frankly, because of how they have had to shift their personnel, the second unit isn't that bad either, especially if they're getting a tired penalty kill unit against them. So this is exactly what you'd want. And you have mentioned so many times in the playoffs, special teams is important, not just penalty kill, but power play, because you're going to get 1, maybe 2 chances. A lot of the times with how the officiating works out, they just call less statistically. You're going to want to at least take advantage of one of those. And one goal might be the difference in a game. So if you can go out there and send that star-studded power play unit out where it's got Quinn Hughes, it's got Kirill Kaprizov, it's got Matt Boldy, and then, probably Eric Sinek and Matt Zuccarello, having those guys out there threatening to at least change and swing momentum, where even if they don't score, you're still riding that wave after the 2 minutes expires. It does wonders for this team, and you're seeing right now. It's I don't think it's sustainable. 41% is insane, but
yeah,
you're getting a lot of benefit, and it's showing that right now it's working, and something that is working this well. Teams are going to have to adapt. We'll have to see if they do, but they are prolific right now in the power play, and it's awesome.
Yeah, and I don't know how you stop it exactly, right? Because the puck moves so quick, and Hughes has that spin move. I will say, in the playoffs, the scouting report of the team, it looks like Dallas that's going to play the Wild. You've got to be a lot more aware of that spin move. Like, it feels like he gets away with it every time. And look, he's a great player. I get it. You can't just stop it. But there does seem to be, how many guys do we see high in the offensive zone try to attack, or high in their defensive zone, if you're an opponent, try to attack him? And it's like, are you guys ever going to learn? You need to contain him, not attack him. Like, you're not going to get the puck off this dude's stick, right? So if you skate towards him and try to stop him and take the puck, you might want to like back off, play a little bit more of the zone there. And so, because that move becomes much less meaningful if he's spinning away from an opponent, right?
Yeah.
So, like, if he's just spinning to spin, okay, that's great. But it will be very interesting in the playoffs where teams have a full scouting report and full plan. It's not, I'm playing in Dallas one night, I'm playing in Calgary the next, to see how teams attack these things. Because not that you're going to stop him, but I will say that there are probably smarter approaches to Quinn Hughes than skating at him like a whirling dervish and having him just go bang and now he's gone. So, anyway.
I think part of it is the deceptiveness of how well conditioned he is, because there's times where it feels like he's out there a while and they're like, okay, if I'm tired, he's probably tired, so I can close the gap and he's not going to, what is it?
And
like,
the puck's
you
attached
reach,
to
I
a
teach.
stick. It's Velcro.
It's
like,
insane.
Like, that's the thing is, it looks like, it's so funny because there's times where he has the puck and you're like, he doesn't, what's he, and the dude makes a move, but you know what happens? Like, he loses the puck and gets it back.
Yeah.
He makes that look so simple. There are guys that would be throwing their arms up in the air, flummoxed completely, about to be benched. And Quinn Hughes like, yeah, I got the puck. Anyway,
Right.
all right, we, of course, have a big week of JHS here. As Age said at the top of the show, please like and subscribe to our new channel. We're going towards 2,000, but we do not want to stop there. Hopefully this team makes a sustained playoff run so that the momentum can not just continue for the hockey team, but also for this channel. He's AJ, I'm Judd. We'll talk to you soon.